Hey, this is Jamie with Nextlight, and welcome to the Assassin's Den.
I have my dear friend Jamie from Nextlight here with me, and we just kind of wanted to go next level on a few things here, talking about true full spectrum with Nextlight.
Right, yeah, just diving into spectrum. I guess the big thing being green light, right?
100%. Green light for me is one of the key features of Nextlight, other than the fact that you have the best products, the best people, and you stand behind it, okay? Those are the first things for me with anything. You better have the product, you better have the people, and you better stand behind it.
Absolutely.
But this ties into why this product is so good. And Nextlight is the first LED and the only LED that I truly endorse.
I know, and honestly, that means a lot to us, and I think we've earned that, with quality 100%. Products, the service, and just the support we offer to anybody that's given our life a chance. They've seen that not only is the light going to perform, but if they need anything, there's resources like you available, or like me to help them with anything they need.
100%. It's about teamwork. And now when we dive into what's really going on with the green spectrum, I know that you briefly
so misunderstood,
touched
right?
Really, really misunderstood. And I think that one of the first things that you have to remember with light is that you're not dealing with just a wave or just a particle. It's both a wave and a particle.
Yes.
Okay, which is a very, very unique thing within physics that we're dealing with light here. So
right, yeah, and for so long the impression with green or anything in between blue and red even was that it was wasted, that plants aren't even using it. And we know that's not true now. Absolutely, we know that. Green light is used in photosynthesis. The common misunderstanding for so long was that it was reflected and then it was wasted, and that's less than 5% of the green light that's hitting that canopy is wasted light. So it's a big part of the full spectrum is that green light and everything in between there.
Absolutely. And then it's also, I'm all about having a full, even trained canopy. And yes, I'm obviously going to trim my plants up from the bottom, but when I can get more of a yield out of that second and third level, which is what you're going to get when you include that green light, okay?
Exactly.
I'd much rather leave those flower sites on the plant and get that yield that is still quantity for me, but it's still high quality quantity. This isn't some larf that's left behind.
Exactly. You're still getting the dense buds down there on that second and even that third level canopy. Obviously, still do your plant training, still do everything we've learned, but you're able to keep that canopy deeper, and you're also going to have that consistency across the entirety. Whether we're looking at a 4.5 by 4.5 or a 4 by 8 tray, that entire thing, you're going to have even colobs all the way across.
Absolutely. So what we're really getting at here is that as this green light, because it's both a particle and a wave, as it gets down into that lower canopy, it's actually carrying other parts of the light spectrum with it, okay? As it's kind of bouncing around and rattling through there. So it's still delivering light into this second and third level of the canopy. And this is just absolutely key as we outline. Now, the other thing that is absolutely huge for me is that we finally have moved away from using a separate veg and bloom spectrum, okay?
Yes.
So when we're talking about photoresponsive plants, when you flip into bloom, you're talking about a number of different shocks here. We're shocking our plants with light cycle. We're shocking our plants with light intensity much of the time. Yep. We're shocking our plants with nutrients. And now if you throw in that shock of spectrum as well, what's going to happen is it's really going to slow down this stacking process relative to what it would be, for instance, outside. And that, remember, we're trying to replicate outside conditions here, okay?
Absolutely.
We're trying to replicate the sun, which is another reason why we don't grow under blurple. So, my pet peeve right there.
Yeah.
So what I've really seen, and I know that you've seen, and what we see across the board, is once we eliminate that shock of the light spectrum as well, we see that faster stacking, but then at the end of the flowering cycle, what we're seeing is increased yield, more ripened fruit, okay? If you're a cannabis breeder, like Rick,
sure,
okay?
yeah.
suddenly you're seeing more seeds at the end that are robust, that are mature seeds. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is, especially when you're growing for a seed run, it's very easy to both quantify and qualify those results at the end.
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, your finished product tells the story, whether it's seeds or whether it's flower. You're going to see that exactly like you're saying. Rick's always been so impressed with the finish, of his seeds, the better ripening, the more consistent product. And it's the same way when we look at a flower facility. We're seeing that consistency. And back it up a little bit too is, we try to almost shorten these cycles even if we can, because we don't have that scared growth when we flip that switch from veg to flower.
Yeah.
We don't have those couple of days where our plants are like,
what's going on?
What did you do to me?
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge part of it. And we don't need to isolate red and blue. And it's give your plants everything they need for the entire time, and you'll see the results for yourself.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Jamie, thanks so much for coming out here. It's always a true pleasure to work with you and everybody at Nextlight. Like I said, you better have the product, you better have the people, and you better have the support. Nextlight, the fucking LED company I'll work with. So stay frosty out there.